Well, hello again, sports fans, and welcome to Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Coming to you live from the Pizza Ranch studio and presented as always by Central Bank of the Ozarks, Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks, Liuna, Labor's Local 663, Doak Propane, Shelter Insurance, and the Bank of Billings. Pleased to be joined now by Republic Tiger head football coach Ryan Cornelsen. And Coach Cornelsen, 5 in a row right now. Hey, congratulations on a great way to end the season, and you're still going.
Yeah, I appreciate that. The kids are playing hard and playing together as a team and doing a really nice job here, at the back end of our schedule. And so we're proud of them and hopefully continue to keep going.
And 5 in a row. Tell us a little bit about what you're really doing well right now. Where have you improved the most?
I think just consistency in what we're doing. It's kind of been hit and miss on whether or not we're, more running the ball or throwing the ball or what we're doing. It hasn't, been the same each and every week, but we've been consistent. We've been able to move the chains and keep our offense on the field. Our defense has gotten better throughout the year, and we've been able to get some stops in key spots. And our special teams has played well. And that obviously last week against Webb had a big role with special teams. But, so I would say basically we're a lot more consistent than we were early in the season. We had a lot less bad plays, I guess you'd say, and mistakes and mental errors and those things. So things you would expect, but sometimes don't always happen, but we've gotten better throughout the year and have done a good job executing the plan each week.
Coach, take us through that game a week ago, the district semifinal game at Webb City. I was at the game, but you go from a 21-point defeat earlier in the season to a 9-point victory here in the semifinals of the districts. Kind of take us through that game from a coaching standpoint.
Yeah, well, the first game we played, I thought we played really well. We got beat pretty handily, but we anytime we got in the red zone, we just couldn't punch it in. And so we got in the red zone several times, missed 2 field goals. And so that was probably the thing we knew we had to do a better job is once we get down there to put the ball in the end zone. So, this game started off and wasn't really going in our favor. We were down 14-7. I thought our defense had played well and kept us, we didn't allow just many big plays. They kind of marched the ball down the field, what they're used to doing, what they do to a lot of teams. But we held them to 14 points at half, and we had 7. Really had some missed opportunities first half. I don't know if it was the noon and the sun was different for our receivers, but we had 3 or 4 passes just right off our fingertips and drops that were big in the first half. So coming out of second half, we knew we had to make those plays. We really didn't have to change anything. We just had to go ahead and finish the play, make the catch, and so they come right out and drive the ball again. It's 21-7, and I knew at that point we'd find out what we're made of and find out if we had enough guts to stay in it and keep rolling. And then we were able to hit a couple big passes and put the ball in the end zone and kick some onside kicks. Got the ball back and basically just stole the possession second half. I think we took 3 possessions with 2 onside kicks and a safety, kept their offense off the field and allowed us to score. And that was kind of the story of the game.
Coach, kind of take us through those back-to-back onside kicks. Is that something you talked about at halftime, or was it something that kind of popped up, there on the sideline in the second half? When did you make that decision?
To be honest, before I got here, we haven't been very good at onside kicks here. But in Kansas, that was something I did on a regular basis, most games, if not one, more than one, sometimes every kick. I still believe in the onside kick. We just haven't been very good at it here, so I haven't utilized it. And we feel like we were getting better, and so it was it's always part of our game plan, no matter who we're playing, no matter what the game is, early in the year, late in the year. It's, sometimes it's a win, sometimes it's, what kind of offense they run, and all different things go into whether or not we use it. The decision wasn't really if we were going to do it. It was if we were going to do it right out of half. But I felt like our defense had played pretty well, and I was hoping we could get a stop. We didn't, but I was hoping we could get a stop. So we went in and kicked it deep out of half. And I knew at that point we were going to, when it went down 21-7, we were going to have to steal possessions. And so at that point, we knew if we scored, it was onside kick the rest of the way. And so it worked out for us. It doesn't always. Sometimes you look like the hero. Sometimes it doesn't go that way with onside kicks. But we were fortunate there that it went well. two in a row and got those possessions.
Coach, now you've got Carthage you haven't seen since week one. Kind of take us through the game plan here, and what are 2 or 3 stats that you're going to have to control or improve on to come out on top here 11 weeks later from that week one visit.
Yeah, well, I mean, in all honesty, and I think, and we talked. I was a speaker after this game the first week, and I mean, they drilled us in every aspect. I mean, I think the running back had, I don't know, 6 touchdowns in the first half, and it was turbo clock, and it was a route. The route was on early against them the first time we played them, so we got to do a lot of things better, and we feel like we did. We think that game really, we had to grow up. Like, we were bad from a schematic standpoint. We were bad from making tackles. Everything was bad game one, and our body language was not very good. And so it to me that people want to know, like, when's the turning point? When I think game one, you take that kind of whipping, you have to evaluate yourself. You have to evaluate your team, and so from that point forward, that I felt like we grew up and understood, like, we got to do things different if we're going to want to play with these kind of teams in our league. And so we didn't win them all, but I felt like after that we got better each and every week. So just, again, so stopping the run. I mean, we weren't able to even remotely slow them down. And I don't know that you can completely stop them. That back and Gall and their offensive line, man, they're good. And so they're not ranked 1 for no reason, but we got to at least slow them down and stay in the game. And then from an offensive standpoint, second half against them, we hit some big passes, but we couldn't establish any kind of drive. I mean, it was just all, guessing and trying to hit a big play. We got to go in there and be able to establish a drive. And again, they got probably the best defensive tackle in the conference and the best linebackers. And so, that's not going to be an easy task, but it's one that our kids, I truly believe we can do those things. And we feel like we've been outmatched before and have played well. So we'll go in there with a lot of confidence this week.
Coach, going into this district championship, and I know it's late in the season, everyone's going to have their bumps, their bruises. But are you relatively, other than that, healthy?
This is probably the worst injuries we've had in my career. I think we lost. I think we've got 4 or 5 ACLs. And I don't know, we'll have to evaluate what we're doing, I don't know why it happened. I probably the last 5 or 6 years combined haven't had the many knee injuries as I've had this year. And we've had a broken leg. So we got banged up, and a lot of that was early. I mean, here late, we've just got your normal bumps and bruises. And anytime you play Webb City, and a shortened week coming off Saturday, you're going to be banged up because that's a physical team. But we lost a lot of key guys early, and we're able, and then you adjust and you find new guys, and those guys step up. And so we've kind of weathered that storm, and hopefully we stayed healthy for as long as we continue to play. So yeah, we were banged up early. We feel better about it now, and ready to roll.
Coach, if I get that score that comes into me at scoreboardguy.net or at the Missouri Sports Network that ends up with Republic winning this game, what's one stat that you're going to be able to point to and say, this is how we won this game? We controlled either the time of possession or penalties or turnovers. What's the one stat that you're going to have to come out on top on?
I think you hit it right there with time of possessions is a big key. But in all honesty, as a coach, you go in the game and you have a game plan, but you really don't know what stat's going to jump out. Like I wouldn't have told you that the onside kick was the difference between us and Webb City, but it absolutely ended up being the number of possessions in the second half. So you don't know going in. Maybe it's time of possession, maybe it's turnovers. Really, you just try to do the best you can to play a complete game, both sides of the ball and special teams, and then whatever that stat ends up is it kind of presents itself during the game. And against Nixa, it was time of possession, and I think we ran 70 plays to their 30 plays. Going into the game, did you hope that would happen? Yeah, but you don't really know until you get in there if you can do that or not. And so we'll go in hoping to establish drives, hoping to win the turnover battle, all those things that change the game, and then whatever stat presents itself to allow us a chance to win, hopefully we capitalize on it.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, as you well know, the winner of this district championship for the last probably decade, has fared really well in the state tournament. So best of luck, and go out and get a victory, and we'll get you on the Friday Night Live High School Scoreboard Show later on that night.
All right, man. That sounds good. I appreciate you having me.
You bet. Coach Ryan Cornelsen from Republic Tigers, kind enough to join us here on High School Game Day. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow. And keep it here at MissouriSportsNetwork.com.